Okay. So, you know how last week we talked about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial?
Yes.
Did you see?
Kyle, actually, not Kyle Rittenhouse.
Dang it. I was hoping you didn't see it. So I can ask you what you thought the verdict was.
Kyle's like, hey, man, he's not guilty.
Yeah.
And I was like, right on. But you know what's funny? I remember seeing the picture of the prosecutor, and he was trying to show, first of all, the prosecution was attacking Kyle Rittenhouse for playing Call of Duty, which is a symptom of being aggressive and having intentions of wanting or romanticizing the idea of doing.
Like, is maybe true, but there's no science behind that. Like, there's no evidence.
It can't be true. Jack plays Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Does that mean that that's now a predisposition?
No, I'm saying, like, yeah, you're right. I was just more thinking along the lines of, like, maybe a little bit of aggression sometimes.
By playing Call of Duty.
Or like with Jack, he starts acting out when he plays, but that's not Call of Duty. That's just video games in general.
He did that when he was playing Mario Brothers.
That's true. I guess it's not that specific type of game. But anyway, you said they called him out on.
Yeah, so they called him, and so the prosecutor
accused him of.
They're accusing him for having these intentions that would lead to this, but because
he played
Call of Duty, and they'll break down what the premise. Oh, by the way, that's used in the right perspective. That's right. That's used appropriately.
We need a shirt with that. Something about premise in it. Yeah.
What is premise?
Yeah.
What is the premise?
What is the premise?
And then it'll be like air quotes on it.
That's a good one. What is the premise?
What is premise? And then they called him out on his gamer tag. Apparently, his gamer tag or TikTok tag had something more along like a tactical kind of like gamer kind of play. And they're like, "Is that your?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my gamer tag or my TikTok thing." And then the prosecutor, and this is the dumbest thing in the world, apart from that, is the prosecutor, who's definitely like is anti-gun, but he's also like very illiterate around guns, because he he brought to court an unloaded, no magazine in it, a AR-15,
which is what he had on him.
Sure.
That he shot with.
Yeah, right. It's a very popular rifle. Like, I mean, it's a very classic kind of one to own, unless you're in Russia and you have an AK-47, which I do. And so he didn't have a magazine, obviously, and obviously the chamber was clear, so it was a safe gun. But he held it in court, and he did two things wrong. And now there are 4 or 5. I have to remember.
Which I feel like you're going to hold a gun in court. Like, maybe brush up on.
Correct. And this guy that's how dumb he was. This prosecution is that there's 4 or 5 rules to gun safety. I think they're called like universal gun safety rules.
Yeah.
And
I remember you showing me.
I showed you, and I showed the boys, and I always practice with the boys, is no matter if the gun's loaded or not loaded, you're never to be pointing it at something that you're not intending to destroy. Mm-hmm. Your finger should never be on the trigger unless you're ready to pull it to destroy it. Know what's behind your target. So you can't shoot at a skyline because you don't know if there's a hiker or a farm behind it. Never look down at the barrel of the gun. And I remember there's one more. That was basically it. Anywho, Alec Baldwin, same story there, right? Was given a gun on set, points it, discharges it. Turns out it's a real gun with a real bullet in it. Kill somebody. Mm-hmm. When somebody hands you something, you should open it, check the chamber. Now, that's just an Alec Baldwin situation. But going back to the prosecution, even though the gun was empty and there's no magazine in it, you shouldn't be putting your finger in it. That's why when you see like a magazine like on a cover, right? There's a Tim Kennedy magazine where he's on a cover on it. And Tim Kennedy, who is a Navy SEAL or Green Beret, he's a Green Beret, Special Forces, highly versed in weaponry. This guy's holding this weapon with his finger on the side of the gun, outside of the trigger guard, holding it. That's just like, it's
101.
It's 101. Doesn't matter if we're taking a picture or not. You're not putting your finger in it unless you're ready to point it at whatever you're trying to kill or destroy. Number 2 is pointing the barrel of the gun. I actually love this when I was going over gun safety with the boys regularly, even if I'm building like a new shotgun or something like that. And the boys were like, can I hold it? And I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that they don't feel like there's this taboo thing. So I'll make sure it's safe, blah, blah. But like Beckham will hold it, and he knows he can only point it at the ceiling or point it at the ground. Mm-hmm. And Jack was trying to go like around, and Beckham was like, Jack, what are you doing? Like, meaning like they already recognize these gun safety rules. And this dummy prosecution was like, oh, I'm going to hold this thing in in court amongst all these people, put my finger in and start waving it around. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Forget what this kid's gamer tag is.
Maybe that's what he thought this guy was doing.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I did hear, or I was reading that a lot of people are saying that prosecution just like was very they didn't do a good job. They jumped like a few things too fast. It was like messy. They just didn't do a good job of prosecuting and like bringing in evidence, and they had no evidence. Maybe that's why they were trying to grasp at straws. Maybe
I think that's the best way to answer it because I think they're throwing a bunch of shit on the walls and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Now,
which is Wisconsin primarily Democratic?
From my understanding, Blake, do you know?
What did they?
It's a red state. Okay.
Okay, so I mean, that's what I was thinking about because with the jury, I was wondering if they were like the jury selection was.
By the way,
more...
are you seeing this advertisements for on Central Walmart? There's two chicks with cocktail dresses, one butt cheek sticking out, the other is boobs falling out,
cool.
And she's in a chips aisle
on a Fox News
ad. That's cool, guys.
Yeah, but so the jury deliberated for 4 days, which for such a big case, I feel like pretty quick.
It's very quick.
Yeah.
Especially some of the cases
weeks.
we've been reading about that they've been taking such a long time. But it seems like, they're throwing so much shit on the wall, see what would stick and what would not. Clearly, there's this whole thing of trying to the anti-gunners are trying to break this down. At this point, I don't even think it's a race thing anymore. But my whole verdict on it is like I said last time. I think what he did, I feel like from my understanding, was fair. I think somebody was charging him, and I believe the guy that was charging him was like a pedophile or had.
It was like a 36-year-old man. The first one was charging him and telling, this is according to him. He was saying that the guy was saying that he was going to kill him.
Yeah, and I believe he had pedophilia charges against him, something like that. Am I correct? Did you hear something like that? Yeah, sure.
And then the second man that was. He shot hit him with a skateboard, so he actually got defense, and there's evidence of it, and that's one of the reasons I think that was such a strong argument was he had evidence of being hit. I don't know if it was on camera or just afterwards he had
charging the skateboard.
But
anyway, long story short, my verdict on this is I'm glad he's innocent. I'm glad based off of the evidence that we're seeing, but I still hold the fact that a 17-year-old kid should not be in a situation like that where their brain's not developed to be able to make critical decisions. Yeah,
and all in all, he just should not have been there.
Navy SEALs, special forces officers, those are the only people who are
even
cops,
during riots.
Police officers. Those are the people who are trained to deal in these situations. And even then, they're not. They don't make the best decisions. That's why, even when, I have my enhanced concealed carry weapons license, right? And with that. What's great about getting the enhanced one, which allows for you to carry it to your weapon, to your concealed carry weapon, to states that show reciprocity to supporting of your license in their states, like Florida or whatever, is when I took my class, we had a lawyer come in, and he was basically spinning educating us to okay, so when you use your weapon in actually a situation, let's say you and I are going out to dinner, guy pops out with a gun, hey, give me your wallet, very point blank, right? And I take my weapon out before he can shoot me, and I discharge my weapon at him. That's clear, cut, and dry. I am still going to get arrested. I will be taken to jail. Then I'll get to meet with my attorney, and then I get to have my public case, and then whatever, right? Now, what the lawyer was teaching us is how courtrooms will break it down, where let's say the same guy with a weapon pops out, give me your gun, give me your wallet. I was like, okay, man, here's my wallet. Takes my wallet. He runs away. As soon as he runs away, I take my gun and I shoot him. I'm wrong now because my life is not in critical or imminent danger.
And didn't they say when their back is to you, you are not supposed to be shooting them?
I don't know if that's every state. I know in California it doesn't have what's called a castle law. So for a castle law is that you have the ability to protect your livelihood in your domain. So in California, if you come into the house and you're like, I think I heard something in the bedroom, and you slowly walk open and you see the guy's back and he's going through your stuff. If you're, I believe in California, you're supposed to like walk away and leave, call 911 or something like that.
So if you shoot him, he can.
In Idaho and a lot of other states, is your castle. You can protect your domain there. So if you see that guy, you can shoot him there, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, there's a lot of rules. No,
there's a lot of like discrepancies where like where
and that's the castle
how
law.
It went down.
The castle law falls in a different category, but for you to discharge a weapon is whether or not your life was in imminent danger or harm.
And that's, I think, was a big part of this case was he was fearing for his life, is what he was saying. So
like one of the examples the courtroom the lawyer was telling us is, imagine you're at a Walmart parking lot, because apparently everything bad happens at Walmart. And somebody,
according to this picture,
somebody 20 cars away is swinging a machete, yelling at you. 20 cars away, says, "I'm going to cut your head off." Now he's 20 cars away. Technically, your life is not in imminent danger or harm because that's 20 cars away. You have the ability to get in your car and avoid the situation. Mm-hmm. Now, if the guy's standing right in front of you, I'm going to, a car away, I'm going to cut your head off. That's a different scenario. Can I get in my car quickly enough before he can cause harm or imminent danger to me? So there's a lot of things that have to be considered, because you will go to jail. Whether you shot the guy because he broke in the house, pointed a gun, and I just happen to have a gun here and I shot and killed him, or just shot him. Regardless, you're going to jail. And regardless, you're going to have to give a statement. And regardless, this is going to be a big thing.
Because it's just the way they have to.
But whether or not you're going to go to jail for a very long time, or you're just going to be booked over jail for overnight, is two different stories.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of
gray
areas where things can go wrong.
And you have to understand, you have to be able to break that down. Right. So you can't just willy-nilly. So that's why I'm saying Kyle Rittenhouse, again, I'm really glad that he's not guilty. I'm really glad. I love his intention. He went to go protect these businesses. He was playing medic. I'm supportive of that.
He just, as a 17-year-old, should just not have been there.
17-year-old kids are not, listen, I'm 34 and I can't make that decision yet. You know what I mean? High stress, cars burning fire. I could be like, okay, so I'm going to just protect my family. How do we get out of this? But I don't know in that situation.
Yeah.